For the past couple of days, my heart has been very, very still and quiet and heavy all at the same time. You know, the more you study the Word of God, the more He enables you to see what you cannot see. And as you go through your everyday, you're able to discern things in the spirit that otherwise you wouldn't be able to. And the Word of God tells us how the enemy is a deceiver. And what's so disturbing is that there are so many of us that profess to be followers of Christ, followers of God, that are walking around with our eyes wide shut. We do not realize that we are deceived. We do not realize that we are blind. And unfortunately, a lot of us have blind guides. We have individuals that are assigned and called, perhaps, and in positions to enlighten us spiritually and to call us consistently out of darkness into the light. And instead of us getting that on a consistent basis, we hear more that God is going to bring you out. God has blessings in store for you. God has this. He's going to elevate you. Your next season is going to be your best season and all of this kind of stuff. But the reality is we have to be very, very concerned and aware when we are hearing things that provoke us to feel good about God, but don't have the power or the ability to empower us to be good in God. And maybe that probably falls under the prosperity gospel. But a lot of us love the world. And the Bible tells us that we can't love the world and the things of the world and love God at the same time. And what we have to be mindful of and honest about is how much of an appetite do we really have for the world versus the things of God. There is a movement in this world that will really bring the realities of our appetites in full view, because the enemy is preparing us to be held back or limit our access to things that bring us pleasure. And not only that, but he is also making it difficult for us to have uninterrupted, unchallenged time with God, whether that is in your word, whether that is in churches, whether that is when you turn on the television, when you turn on the radio, whatever it is. But the enemy is using everything he can to deceive us and to pull us away from the things of the Lord. And a lot of us have appetites that are carnal and not enough desire and appetite for God. Now, I know I'm not talking about that emotional assent and the praise, because you can have a praise for God and about God and still not be in His will. Because I can talk good things about God and I can still not be in His will, His way, or His word. And when you are ignorant of the Word of God, there is a holiness deficiency in your life, whether you like to admit it or not. You can't just associate with church folk. You can't just associate and attend church and think that that's enough to transform your life. And that's another deceiving thing that the enemy is doing to the children of God, is that he's making us believe that it's really about us, and it's not about us becoming the best version of ourselves. You know, we sing songs like "He saw the best in me when everyone else around me saw the worst in me." The reality is, there is nothing good in us. Nothing. Everything good in us is directly from God. The word teaches us that it's God that works in us both to will and to do what pleases Him. And so what we do is we're drawn towards messages and things that make us feel better about being ourselves. When a lot of times the fact that you are who you are keeps you in the low places in life. It keeps you outside of God's will. It keeps the trauma going on in your life. It keeps the drama going on in your life. And so God calls us out of darkness to transform us so that we can have His mind, so that we can truly do and desire the things that please God. And my concern, and it's a reality, that a lot of us are being lost and deceived by Satan, and that our appetite for the world is far greater than our appetite for God and the things of God. Now, true enough, you know, you can be in the proximity of God and never truly come into His presence. You can bless His holy name and still not walk in His way. And so we just have to stay in our word and stay prayerful and be honest about where you are with God. Ask God to show you who you are in Him. Yeah, we really need to understand that the enemy, a lot of us have our eyes closed, and we don't even realize it. So we need to stay prayerful because this is spiritual warfare that we're in.